if you've got the restaurant, and I'm certainly going to read that. I've not read that book, but
Awesome.
you go through and you think about everything from the eyes of the customer, and how can I make it better for them? How can I prevent them from having to call me in the first place? If they do call me, I'm late. I should have announced it ahead of time. Going through that whole plan, getting that plan in your business, is what's critical. Now, one thing that, and unrelated to what, well, actually, it is related to this, is, in the past we've talked about workflows, all these big, humongous plans of things, and part of workflow secrets is saying, well, instead of working the entire big plan, let's break it down into smaller routines. What is one routine that I would do if I've got to do my photography? And you just concentrate on that one small piece. And each time the photography date's entered, then it goes and it does that one small piece. And if the staging date is entered, then it does that one small piece. You don't have to have the entire plan defined, but how do you handle that one small piece? And that's the secret, is really breaking it down into smaller routines. All of us have routines. Every morning we get up, we put our feet on the floor, we go brush our teeth, we drink, make coffee, we drink coffee. We go through this thing and we don't even think about it many times. And that's what we have revamped a lot of that. And we're using a lot of AI, we're using a lot of capabilities that is there, to help automate the process, but we're doing it in smaller chunks.
Well, I do want to add to that, this one little chunk, the photography, right? The thing about what we do is so much of it is either in reaction to something or because somebody told us to do it, or we just did it, right? Thoughtlessly. And one of the challenges with writing a routine is we don't actually pay attention the first time we did it to what all the little steps. We take them for granted. Yeah. So when you do pay attention to that one little thing, Mark's example, the photography, pay attention to the stuff that you don't think matters because it does.
Yeah. On that note, okay, so photography is one, staging is one. What are some other things that, if you were to just break it down, you've made up small plans, or sections of your bigger workflow. What are some of the key ones that you've done in addition to those two? I didn't
Key
have this
ones,
on the list.
dude, those are all key. Um, Key routines. Well, the question you asked was, what are things that fell through the cracks before you had routines that didn't fall through the cracks after you had those in place? I had an answer for that one.
Okay.
The answer to that one was termite reports. So this may be somewhat regional, but in California, well, back in the old days, it's not this way anymore. In the old days, you would get your home inspected for termites, and then there would be two types of work that were required: stuff that had to get done in order to be declared free of termites, and stuff that you needed to improve to prevent termites from coming in. Yeah. And section one was the first part. That was like in the old days, it was mandatory, had to get done. Yeah. But there would be a in between thing that was called further inspection recommended. So that's neither one nor two. It's like we need to look at it some more. I was habitually not scheduling or paying attention to that further inspection because I wasn't going through it. It's like I'd read it, I'd go, oh, we might have to do that, and then I'd forget about it.
Right.
Oh yeah. So putting a reminder in there, this like operational, this had to get scheduled the minute you wrote it. It changed everything. And
Did
then yeah,
did you customarily, on something like that, or should you have customarily just said, okay, 2 days after the
Yeah,
inspection or whatever that number
right.
is. I don't know what that number is.
It
Uh,
wasn't urgent. When I would get the termite report, that particular action wasn't urgent. And
yeah.
it might never have been urgent. That was the key. Like it was situational. Maybe somebody will ask for it, maybe somebody won't. And so I'd completely forget about it. Now, what do I know about the other agent? They're probably not on top of the ball either. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was happening is we get to the end of escrow, both of us are scrambling. Yeah.
Yep.
So a large part of what my operational manual, what my workflows grew into was compensating for an agent on the other side who may not be very experienced, may not have a lot of resources, might be a part-time agent, whatever. But my workflows were actually written to compensate for the other agent not getting all of the things done that needed to be done, and treating it in a respectful manner. Like we would send them letters saying, I'm sure you're already aware that the home inspection is happening then, and all of the utilities need to be home and all the doors need to be accessible. So this is probably an unnecessary reminder, but just thought we'd send it anyway.
Showing that respect,
Uh-huh.
hoping that they did it, knowing that
Yeah,
they didn't do it,
yeah,
but at least giving them the benefit of the doubt and
yeah.
moving forward.
So I guess that would be an important part of my things that I'd never thought of before, honestly. And it's so useless to get mad at the other agent. They didn't mean to screw things over. They want the commission check just as much as anybody else. They just didn't have the experience or lack of foresight or whatever. Don't get mad, just handle it.